essential part of distracting from the Epstein story. I mean, protecting our nation. This is just another day. Ever since the world got a glimpse of Donald Trump's supposed birthday letter to Jeffrey Epstein, the administration, and almost every single Republican, have been telling the world they actually didn't glimpse anything.
The president did not write this letter. He did not sign this letter.
And frankly, he doesn't even know what a letter is. As the American people know, throughout Donald Trump's entire life, he has strictly communicated any and all birthday wishes via duck call. But that's just mere talk about the letter. I mean, maybe some people haven't even seen it yet.
Have you seen that letter? And
I've not, but I would love to see it like matched with his handwriting.
Yeah,
it just seems really wild. Yeah, I don't want to see it.
It's funny because it's true. Lee pathetic. But I gotta hand it to reporters. They've learned to come prepared since Trump's first term, when Republicans in Congress could simply dismiss a piece of horrid Trump material by claiming they'd been living under a rock.
I didn't see it, so I'd have to. I'm sure that my office will be able to get me a copy of it.
I just saw the tweet, and I know nothing of the episode.
The president said that these minority congressmen should go back to their countries. Do you respond?
I hadn't read that, but I'll go check it out.
And by check it out, I mean put on a sleep mask for the next decade. Yes, these days the level of mental gymnastics Republicans will happily endure is just staggering.
Clearly the birthday note from President Trump is a fallacy. It's just not true. And that's a leftist talking point. It's horrible.
Man, Republicans are working so hard to ignore every piece of information that points to Donald Trump definitely writing that note. They have to convince the public that even though Trump has bragged about being a womanizing businessman in his younger years, was found liable of sexually abusing journalist E. Jean Carroll in the mid-90s, and partied with Epstein well into the 2000s, he's not the type of guy who would say such horrid things about the degradation of women. And honestly, I'm here to tell Republicans that they can give themselves a break. The fact that they've already championed a man with that type of resume means that one more infraction doesn't really matter. I mean, sure, they'll have to walk around knowing that they are still okay with having the leader of their party be a protector of a pedophile, but politically, I think they'll be fine. I mean, Trump seems to be fine with it.
Did you sign the Jeffrey Epstein birthday letter?
It's not my signature, and it's not the way I speak. And anybody that's covered me for a long time knows that's not my language. It's nonsense. And frankly, you're wasting your time. All you do is trying to get off the great success of D.C. and about 200 other things we've done that are so successful.
Yes, the way Trump looks at it, the press has one job: to forget any bad news that may have occurred and instead highlight the successes in our country. I imagine Donald Trump wonders why, the day after 9/11, the New York Times practically devoted every section to that horrific national tragedy and barely spilled an ounce of ink covering American cyclist Bobby Julich signing a 2-year contract with Deutsche Telekom. That is an actual headline from September 12th, by the way, but I have a feeling Mr. Julich understood why his story didn't land on the front page. Look, whether or not this birthday book features the president's signature, and it 100% does, Trump is accusing the press of doing exactly what he's doing, creating a distraction from something else. You know, it's easy to forget, and that's kind of the whole point, but it was just a couple of months ago that Donald Trump asked this famed question.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
And to the president's dismay, the answer was a resounding yes. And to make matters worse, Trump had previously decided that for his second term, he was going to lock arms with guys like Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, who had made it their life's work to get to the bottom of who knew what, when about Jeffrey Epstein. Which meant that if they owed people answers, so did the president. So what do you do when your back is against the wall and the whole world refuses to stop asking you about the nature of your relationship to a billionaire pedophile?
We begin in Los Angeles, where unrest and tensions continue. President Trump has now deployed 700 Marines and 2,000 additional National Guard troops to the city.
We have other cities that are very bad. New York has a problem. And then you have, of course, Baltimore and Oakland. We don't even mention that anymore. They're so far gone. We're not going to let it happen. We're not going to lose our cities over this.
That's right. You dip your hands into the government's wallet and send thousands of troops to troubled cities across America. So now, when reporters ask whether or not you drew a pair of boobs and some pubic hair in your buddy's birthday card as a way of giving a little nudge, nudge, wink, wink to his proclivity for abusing underage women, you can chastise them for not asking you about all the justice you're raining down on America. And Trump's minions have been more than willing to fall in line with his whole distraction tactic.
Look
look what we've done right here in D.C. President Trump has cleaned up D.C. We were with the mayor tonight. We were with the police chief tonight. We are working hand in hand with D.C. to make D.C. safe again. Chicago should be begging Donald Trump for help to keep Chicago safe. Yet they aren't. So we're going to go into a city who wants us there.
Is Pam Bondi trying to make Chicago jealous? If Chicago thinks we're just going to sit idly by the phone and wait for them to call, they are sorely mistaken. There are plenty of cities out here begging us to occupy them and establish a police state. And when Chi-Town wakes up and comes crawling back to us asking for unnecessary federal intervention, which they most definitely will, it'll be too little, too late. And one of the saddest aspects of Democrats refusing to help Trump's very generous help is the hypocrisy.
I didn't hear any problems from Washington, D.C. residents or my colleagues on the other side of the aisle when 20,000 National Guards came in and surrounded the Capitol building and prohibited your First Amendment rights to petition your government with your grievances. I didn't see an uprising there. We weren't happy about the fences and the hundreds of miles of barbed wire surrounding our nation's capital and armed National Guard.
That's right. Lauren Boebert wasn't happy about having some ridiculous military presence at the Capitol that precluded more patriots from scaling the walls, breaking the windows, and defecating on people's desks. But she came to accept it. She came to accept the fact that as an American, but more importantly as a federal elected official, there isn't some official rule book or set of laws that dictates what's allowed and not allowed in our country. So Democrats need to get on board and accept that too. I know it may have become a common refrain for Republicans to prop up those who storm the Capitol as American heroes, but it's always shocking to watch. Honestly, I haven't seen Lauren Boebert work this hard to get people off since she attended Beetlejuice the musical. Yes, the distraction machine has taken such a hold of members of Congress that things have been getting a little testy over at the Capitol. Like when Democratic Representative Maxwell Frost took issue with Republican Representative Clay Higgins' stance that he's a constitutionalist and a states' rights man, just not for all states.
You're here because you're lapdogs to the President of the United States, who during the election last year, we said time and time again, I reclaim my time.
Down, Mr. Chairman.
All right, hold on.
My colleague just called me a lapdog for the President of the United States. I move for his words to be taken down.
A second.
We'll stand in recess for a second here. We will suspend to see about taking the words down.
Yes, if you're wondering what the inner workings of the legislative process look like, we just got a sneak peek. Was it a healthy debate about whether the President of the United States is acting within his authority when he sends the National Guard to infiltrate cities and states around the country? Not exactly. Mainly it was just calling a timeout while the intern checks the rule book to see if the phrase lapdog is a permissible roast. The reality is, Donald Trump is willing to do anything to deny, distract, and deflect from the fact that he is tied to Jeffrey Epstein in countless incriminating ways. But he must be thrilled to know that he has loyal sycophants who are happy to do whatever he asks to help him in his denial, distraction, and deflection efforts. I just hate to be the bearer of bad news, because no matter what he does, until all the information comes out, he is still going to be asking the same question.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
We sure are. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for